Alright, so your students have taken the test and now you're wondering how to get the data. First thing to do is go into Fulton Connect, click on the blue IMS locker, and that'll take you to your dashboard where you went before to manage the test and all of that good stuff. Since we're looking for a report here, we're going to go to Performance, click Reports, and wait for the bell to ring. Drill down through Fulton County Schools to District Assessments. And then there are a couple different options here, but I think the best one to start with for our purposes is Teacher Level Reports by Class. So you click that. And then it's going to open up this screen where there are a bunch of different filters to choose. I believe that the most sort of helpful ones are, first of all, a student score listing by student. So you're just going to get a class list of with how they did on the test. This objective mastery summary by class might be worthwhile, as well as by student, and then an item analysis by class by student, as well as an item answer distribution analysis by class. So these are probably 5 good filters to start with. If you want to do some experimenting on your own, by all means do that. So once you've selected those, you just scroll down and select a report format. I usually have mine exported as a PDF, and you're going to want to choose this year. And then you're going to have to choose at least one of your classes, but you have to click Reload first. So I'm going to choose both of my freshman lit courses, select those, and then continue to scroll down. And then the test level was Teacher Classroom, and so you select the Teacher Classroom filter, and then continue to scroll down. You have to select English as the language, and again, you're going to have to choose which test you want to run your data from. So you have to click Reload here. And then you should be able to find your test there. And then select all. We want to run all genders. We want to run all ethnic backgrounds. And those are really the only filters that I choose when I sort of run the report. So once you've done that, you come up here and you click Run Report. And then you wait for a few seconds to see if it'll load, and what it'll do is it's going to come up as a PDF in this particular tab, and it's probably going to be somewhere, depending on how many classes you're running, it's probably going to be somewhere around 15 pages, just because it's a lot of information. But again, if there's some stuff here that you decide you don't need, you can go back and eliminate those particular filters. Okay, so this first thing that we're looking at is just a straight up list of the roster for my first period and then my second period with their scores. So you can see that we've got these are the scores, the percentage scores that the students had on the test. This is the raw score, and over here it will tell you whether or not they met the standard for mastery. So you've got that for all of the sections that you chose. And then down here it's got a mastery summary, where it's just going to give you kind of an overview for each class for the standards that you attach to the test. So, I can look at this particular report and see that, okay, for period 1, with these 2 standards, with RI5 and RI2, it looks like we need to do a little bit of work with those particular standards. And the same is true for my second period as well, and possibly down here with this other writing standard. And you keep scrolling down and you've got a whole bunch of information here. Now this is a big sort of confusing looking graph, but all it's showing is individual students per period and whether or not these students mastered that particular standard. If there's 100 in the grid right here, that means that this student did master that particular standard, the RL1 standard. But if there's a 0, it means that the student did not show mastery of those particular standards. And so that extends to a second page, and then you've got the same thing for another class right here, and that extends to a second page. And what this is showing, this is kind of interesting. It's showing an item analysis, but it's showing what the students selected that the answers that they selected that were not correct. So, for instance, if it's blank, that means that the student got that answer right. However, if there's a number in there, that's the choice that that student selected. So, for instance, this student missed question number 1, and it looks like she marked B when B was not the correct answer. So it says 2, but it really means B. So like over here, 4 would really mean D. Okay, so here we are. Sorry, I had to pause there for a second. We're still looking at these grids are showing what students selected. So again, if it shows up as a 4, that means they chose D when the correct answer was something else. If it shows up as a -1, that means that the student left those questions blank. And so you keep scrolling down. You've got another answer distribution analysis, and this one's kind of nice because it's not quite as confusing and busy as those other graphs. But as you can see, it'll show you for each item on your test, it'll show you, first of all, what the correct answer is, will be indicated with a little asterisk right there, and then it'll show you, again, the distribution of what students were choosing. So if there's a particular distractor that a lot of kids seem to be choosing, that can be some helpful information. And that continues on for the next class right there. So those were all of the, I guess those like 5 filters that we chose. If you're interested in running a report for an individual student, you can also do that, but you're going to have to take a couple steps. So what I did is I just went back to a different tab here, and I'm actually going to run another report. And if you'll notice, what I did first was I ran a teacher level report by class. And so we're going to do a different report here. So we're actually going to do teacher level reports by student. So this will show us, well, as you'll see, it'll show us an individual sort of standards mastery report for each student. So this first filter is objective mastery student report by student. So you click that one, and then again, whatever format you want to export it as, choose that. Choose the appropriate year. Come down to test level. Again, it's the teacher classroom test level. Scroll down. We're going to be looking at it in English, and we're going to choose our test. And then it gives you students to select here. It's going to show all of your students that are in all of your classes, but go ahead and select all of them because, it will only run a report for those students who took that particular assessment, as you'll see in a second. Select all genders and all ethnic backgrounds, and I think that should be the last one. And then you can run this report. And so again, wait for a few seconds as it loads the report, and we'll see what comes up. Okay, so you'll see you've got a printout for each individual student. Obviously, it's alphabetical order. But so what you can do is for each individual student, you can look in and see, okay, what is this particular student's level of mastery for all of the standards that you attach to your assessment, and then you can plan instruction from there. I think that is probably enough to get you started to sort of make some sense out of this data and have some things to talk about in your PLC. And it was also kind of fun to experiment with screencasting. See ya.